Hello everyone, welcome to this absolutely new video that nobody has ever seen before. So, today I want to talk about this section of where I'm always driving, which is the Exelberg. Sadly, somebody asked in the comments the other day if I can do a Wordberg, being funny because, Exelberg again. I don't know, whatever. There is no such berg here, so we have to do with what we have, and that is Excel, I guess. Next time I'm gonna see if I can find a Google Sheets berg, but till then we are here. So essentially, from where I'm coming to the point where we just started, there's essentially two paths how to get on to the main road where I'm always driving. And so this here is the first one, which you go a little bit in the 50 zone for a couple kilometers, and then you turn right where to this road. And there's really no downside apart from this being a 50 zone basically everywhere, and till you get to the main part of the road where it's 70. But the biggest downsides really is that the road is really bad. So here we have the start where we are driving right now, and the road is not bad here. It's pretty decent actually. You got a lot of these manholes here in the ground, which they are pretty good to warm up the tires, because you kind of, or at least what I'm doing is I navigate around them. I try to go on the inside, and then in the left hand I sometimes go on the outside, and so, and as you can see here, the road starts to get really shit. And well, my bike is not the newest, so my suspension technology is like 33 years old, and pretty much every bump, especially when I'm leaned over a little bit, feels like it's throwing me off the bike. Like really terrible. I mean, it's a feeling you get used to, and for the most part I'm actually not sitting on the bike anymore, especially when I'm driving here. I'm kinda standing on the bike, like my ass is still touching the seat, but I'm like, I have the whole weight on the pegs. So for example, here I break down and then I lean over my whole body like a race driver, I mean, maybe I'm hanging off, but the bike is basically upright. The bike is not leaning over like in the MotoGP or whatever. So I mean, it leans over a little bit, but the front tire is really bad. I think it's like 5 years old, and it likes to lose traction pretty quickly. So far I've still caught it. Whenever it started to slide a little bit, I managed to regain control before I actually dropped the bike. Maybe that is supposed to be like that. I'm not too sure. I'm still a new rider, I guess. But it's a very nice section here. Like if the road was in a good condition, it would be a perfect spot really to drive. I'm actually liking this one more than the main road. Simply because nobody is driving here. It's like it's a very short section, and you have basically every turn is blind, and when somebody comes towards you, they have a tendency to cut the corner. So when they come towards you here, for example, they go way beyond the middle line because they're too stupid to drive their car or whatever. I mean, I've seen motorcycles go really race line ish. So you always have to, I mean, here for example, like on this section, I could go a lot faster. I mean, it's not legal obviously, but I could go a lot faster, and I think it's not fear or a technical limitation like the tires being overwhelmed or whatever. Mainly it's the fact that you can't see what's coming on this section, and So it's like very, you have to always keep in mind that there's people who are stupid, and so I have to compensate for their lack of brain capacity. And of course I make mistakes too, so I need to calculate that in as well. And so I have to always have this huge buffer where I'm not killing myself, even though nobody comes. I mean, there was, I think, 1 or 2 cars that we have seen in this couple minutes, but you know, then there's one car who doesn't give a shit, and then you did, or you I don't know, motorcycle broken. And I'm trying to avoid all of this. On top of all of that, it's not just I mean, currently the motorcycle engine is doing some very weird noises. It's like, so I'm not really trying to push it, you know, because at the moment I feel like if I lean over the bike and I go a bit more aggressive, you know, the whole thing might break while I'm in a turn, and you don't want the rear to lock up in a turn, assuming the engine completely stops and just locks up the rear. I had that happen with my moped once. It was a scooter, but I was not in a turn, and the good part about scooters is they have it's called a variomatic, something like, I don't know what the English word is. That's the German word, at least. Essentially it is like a belt driven system where like the engine drives a belt, and then it kind of works like gearing, but it's dynamic gearing. So as the engine RPM increases, the gear ratio changes dynamically. So there's no gears, it's the belt goes down or whatever, it doesn't really matter. But what I'm trying to say is my engine was actually locking up because it had no oil, and so it locked up while I was driving. And because all of that is automatic, even the clutch and everything, it was like, and then the clutch instantly released, so it didn't even lock the tire for a second. It was just like breaking down a little bit, and then it instantly unlocked. I was just cruising, you know, without engine. But that's not a thing on a motorcycle where you can shift. Anyway, so a little bit later here, I'm still pushing it a little bit. Here the speed limit is a bit higher. And the guy I'm always driving with, he was already at the motorcycle meetup thing. And he said there's police standing around somewhere. So I was literally going the speed limit. Like sometimes, you know, you're going a bit faster there. Especially like, I don't know if this is a real thing. This is just what I think in a logical thing. Like the police, they have laser pistols. I don't know what they call it. They like measure the distance a lot in like a couple milliseconds. They measure the distance, and then the difference between the distance is the speed, obviously, right? Like you know, you measure how far you have gone in whatever time, and then you can calculate how much you go in an hour. And so for me, my understanding is if the police guy with the pistol, with the laser measuring device is on a straight and he measures you, then he gets 100% of your speed, right? Because you are traveling towards him in the measuring interval. So if he measures you for like 10 milliseconds or whatever, like a couple times in 10 milliseconds, and you're traveling exactly towards him, then your speed is whatever it's calculated, right? But if you are going not straight at him, so if he's standing in a turn, or you are in a turn and he's measuring you from like an angle, then what I'm thinking is his measuring is not correct. Now look at that. So this guy here is driving with high beam, and I'm like, is this a warning that there's a cop? And I know there's a straight coming up here after this right-hander, so I'm slowing down even further. You know, I'm going, the speed limit is 70. According to Speedo, I'm going 80. So in reality, I was going like 60 or some shit. I don't know. So I slowed down a little bit. I greet the guy here on the right. I'm going 70 pretty much exactly. I'm rolling. Here's the long straight. And so what I was saying is, I thought that, you know, the cop has to be on a straight. In the turns, I mean, in the turns you're usually slower anyways. So why would they measure you there? And so I see this guy here in the distance. He's giving me high beam, you know. It's like, yo, watch out, dude. And so I thank him with my hand here, you know. I'm like, thanks, dude. And the police guy is here on the left. Wait, here he comes. Here he comes. There he is, next to the sign. So he was looking at me. I don't know if he's looking at everyone or if he was literally just looking at me because I thanked the guy. I mean, it's so essentially here in Austria, it's not allowed to warn other people that there is a police guy giving you about to give you a ticket, right? So if you're driving a car, you see a police guy lasering the other direction, like the direction that you are going, so oncoming traffic for you, and you give them the high beam, you know, you're like, watch out, dude, you know, that's not allowed. Like if they catch you doing that, that's, I don't know, that not allowed. I don't know what the penalty is. I mean, every time I see a police guy, you know, I give everyone the high beam. On the motorcycle, I clap on my helmet, you know, like that, you know, at the top of my helmet. I think nobody understands that here, you know. I've seen it in YouTube videos where they warn each other by, you know, touching the top of your helmet. And I guess nobody understands that around here because they just greet me. They must think I'm like a donkey or like a monkey clapping my hand on my head. But yeah, we're almost there actually. This section is, as I said, like, I mean, it's a nice section, you know. This is like the main section everyone's driving here. It's limited to 70. It's, you know, I mean, it flows pretty good-ish, but then on the other hand, it's not so good. I don't know what it is. I like the other one more. I mean, on this part of the track, you have lots of bicycle. They're driving over the whole lane. You know, they think they need the whole lane. Then you got cars behind the bicycles. They don't know how to pass the bicycle that's going 20 or 30. You know, they crawl behind the bicycle, directly behind the bicycle, almost no safety distance, right? And then they wonder why they cannot pass. Of course you can't pass, because you literally have to go the speed of the cyclist, right? Because you're so close, so you can't even get like how do you call it, like charge, you know? And then as you see the opportunity that nobody's coming up, you can just go around, you know? You can't, because you have to go as slow as the cyclist. And then the people in SUVs, they're too stupid to downshift, so they try to pass with the 5th or 6th gear. Not gonna happen with your 70 horsepower. You know? My motorcycle has 76 horsepower, and I'm not gonna pass anyone in 6th gear when I'm going 20, okay? I mean, it's gonna be hard to even keep alive. Anyways, that's the video. I mean, there's more, I guess. I can show you where I nearly lost my font. Here it is. I know it doesn't look like much, but it felt really awful when it suddenly starts to kind of slide, and it's giving you more lean angle than you are expecting, and then you gonna do like a, and then you correct it, I guess. But yeah, that's it for this time. Talking a lot. I hope it wasn't too annoying. Let me know in the comment section if you watched it till there, and if you like the commentary or the just video footage, okay? Thank you, bye!